Welcome guys. In this video, this is the 34th video in this where we are going to implement the provider for the state management. So provider state management, it is recommended by Google as well. So mainly provide your central point to manage the state and write format front end logic. Okay, it is used. So it has three components. Provider also has three components. So before starting that, let's go to the provider. So package and provider Flutter. uh, I think this is it, and yeah, this is it. So this is the provider, so you can easily read in your native language, like English, French, Portuguese, and I don't know other languages, so I okay. So yeah, so these are the providers. So let's start making this thing. So you can go through the documentation. So in this video we are going to make a simple application with the help of provider. Okay, so provider have three components. First is change notifier provider, and the consumer thing. So for every screen of Flutter application, we make a central point for managing state, which is called change notifier. Okay, which is just an ordinary class that extends change notifier class. It contains all the state data that are being used by different part of corresponding screen. Now if something is change notifier and the some of the data gets changed, it notify the framework. The screen which is using the change notifier need to be rebuilt. For an example, you press the button, so change notifier will notify the screen that the UI has been changed, so you have to update the UI also. So change notifier, if you have let's do one thing. For the implementation, let's consider a scenario. Let's say a person wanted to apply for the voting machine, so that they have to be above 18 years for vote in country. So they have to fill form, yeah, they have to fill a simple form in which they have to fill that what you can say, the details or their age, that he or the user is eligible for the voting criteria or not. So the criteria of the voting is simply 18 years. So for that what we are doing is, so in our Flutter application would be a single screen application. Okay, on which there would be a simple form contain a text field, two extra widgets on screen, as well as one is circle, which is, let's say, green by default. But after submitting form, if the user is eligible, it would turn into, let's say white. If it is not applicable, it will turn into red. Okay, so and second is a text widget at the bottom, which will show the status that it is available, it is that the person is eligible or not. So what we are going to do is, let's create our application UI. So at the lib, first of all, before that, let's create a simple form. Okay, so I mean it's uncommented, and let's see, new file screen dot import package flutter material dot stf. Wait a second. Okay, stateful widget stf, stateful widget, and it, let's say, screen simple, let's say, asking no vote, what you can say, voting. Let's name it voting. Okay, let's name it voting. Voting will be great. So at the voting, uh first of all, we need a, how do we need a controller, text editing controller, so that we can easily verify the age. Okay, so what we are going to do is final age, what you can say, voting age. Voting age is equals to text editing controller simple. Okay, so at the const I need a scaffold SCA scaffold. At the scaffold I want a body will be a container. Okay, container, let's say padding. Okay, padding, I think that const edge and just dot all, let's say extreme. So if you don't know what does the padding does, it will give the space from all the sides, like all instance means all from top left bottom right. Okay, so child will be form child is required, so let's child is column, so that column, yep. The column I need a main axis alignment to be center. First of all, see, main axis alignment to center, main axis to center, and the other children I need a container, so that because I want that yellow, or what you can say, the circle. Okay, green circle, so decoration will be box decoration, and the shape I want box shape dot circle, and the color I want, let's say, colors dot, let's say, neutral. What is neutral color? Let's see, let's search for neutral color, and mm, let's think gray. Okay, okay, gray will be great. Okay, gray, it is just a random, and search for height and width to be 50. Okay, height will be 50 and width will be 50. And this let's uh, so after the container I'll just have a simple size box, so that we can give easily height. Okay, difference. So here I need a text form field. The text form field, it is required a controller will be a voting age. Okay, voting age. And at the decoration I'll have input decoration, and the input decoration hint text is, let's say, enter your age, let's say. And yep, I think so, that is it in the text form field. And say I also need another font size box after that, and I need a container now, so that we can easily check that. Okay, so let's say container width, let's say double dot infinity. It will take almost how do I put this, every width. Okay, double dot infinity. Child will be, let's say, button, flat button is that available, no, let's say raised button. Okay, elevated button, elevated button, and the elevated button child will be, say, text. There can check if can vote, and let's say color will be blue. I First of all, it need a on press. Okay, on press will be, let's say, empty right now, simple on press. And I think so background color will be deep. Okay, wait a second, I elevated button. So yeah, that's it is good. So what we could do is right now, so first of all we will and I need a text view also, like text, so that we can easily how do we can easily say that yes, you are eligible to vote. Okay, so I need a text also. So what we're going to do is I'll have a text, and here I'll say input your data, or you can say that please input your age. to check if you can vote or not. And so what I'm going to do is I'll go to the mean, and I just do just wait a second. Screen, so I'll import the screen thing. Okay, no, nothing. Okay, voting. I changed the name. Voting. VOTING. And yes, comes. And let's run the application in the Chrome. What we have done till now is uh, we simply created an UI. Okay, so above code is for the eligibility screen without provider. Okay, we have not used any provider till now, so we have done that UI part, and now we can make the change notifier against the above screen. So what we're going to do is we are going to check that if the user is eligible or if the user is not eligible for the voting thing. So I think it is running. See, enter your age, check if you can vote, and please input your age if you can, uh, to check if you can vote. So I'll do one thing. I'll just debug false. I just don't want that. So at the screen part, what we're going to do is I'll have a eligibility message. That eligibility message will be put it here, and let's do one thing. And at the controller, I'll have a string. That's eligibility. ELI eligibility message is equals, let's say this, like then empty string, and the bool, let's say is eligible, let's say false, or non-nullable, so yeah, false. False. Let's say you are not eligible till now. Okay, let's say you are from the starting you are not eligible. So I'll create a function void check eligibility. Wait a second. It's eligibility. Sorry for my like spelling mistakes. If that age or voting age is greater than equal to 18, expect it's greater than equal to 18. Can't define texture controller. Okay, wait a second. I think age controller we are okay. So let's say age is required. So we have not getted any age right now. Okay. Mm, I'll do one thing. Uh, let's do this thing. The age controller is this, and the controller age controller we have already given the text editing controller. So at the context, we have to check that the eligibility criteria, so that we can easily see that the person is eligible or not for the voting thing. So if the age is greater than 18, let's say I'll not say anything. Let's say age is greater than 18. So age is not defined. We will define it later. So eligible, eligible for voting. It we have to create a function. I'll create a function. Else not. Else I'll say that else not eligible. Not eligible for voting. Okay, yep. So here is there are some warning which is showing us that eligible is not defined. So first what we're going to do is we are going to check that we are going to create that thing to void eli. I'll copy and paste it here. void if it is eligible. Okay, so I'll have eligibility message is equals to you are eligible for voting, and I'll say is eligible is equals to true. Simple. Okay, till now you have not created any notifier. Okay, like we have not used any provider thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the dependencies, or how to do this, go to the provider, and let's implement it right now. Copy provider, copy, and then the dependency part, let's put it here. So it will automatically get the provider for us. Let's copy and paste it here. So provider does not exist, doesn't matter. So just give it a some time, the provider will come here. I think so it will provider Cupertino icons, provider version solving field. With a second, copy it, Flutter at provider. I need a provider thing, so do this thing, because provider depends on provider version solving field. Okay, let's resolve this error. So what? Okay, the issue has been solved. So there was the very silly issue, I can say. The issue was that the name of the app, which you can say that pubspec.camel, the name of that app was provider, and the thing which we are overriding, or which you can say we are getting the provider also, so it collided itself. So I'll do one thing, let me get back to it again. So provider, and let's say set up add, and see it is showing me an error at the line 17, the package may not list itself as a dependency. So this is the name. If I'll just change the name of the app, let's just set up get, and so this is the error. So I think naming convention is very important for this. So yeah, so what we are going to do is eligible is true. So I'll do one thing, I'll just say notify listeners, notify notify listeners. Listeners is not defined, so we will define it, don't worry. Okay, so I'll do one thing, uh, let's say vote for not eligible for voting, void, let's do one thing, void not eligible for voting, and eligibility message will be you are not eligible, and is eligible to false. you are you are not you are not you are not eligible for voting, and is eligible to false. And notify listeners, notify listeners. Okay. So let's say string eligibility message will be eligibility message, so it will be like this, and it will be eligibility message. I think this is how it is done. Explicitly, and I think this is how it should be done. And bool is eligible to be is eligible. Okay, okay, no. It has to be like this. So we are going to assign that value right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll just do one thing, and string get eligibility, eligi eligibility message is equals to this eligibility message, and string, it will be bool ill eligible to is eligible. So now in the above change notifier that we have made against the eligibility, screen has two state data. In its first string eligibility message, which is showing message after processing the user age and the bool eligibility flag, which you can say, which is to change the color of the circle status indicator. In the change notifier, we made a method called check eligibility, which take age for the parameter, and after performing the logic it changes state, that is the user is eligible, it is eligible for the voting, it is not eligible, it is not eligible for the voting. Okay, so the most important thing is calling notify listeners. Whenever you change the state in the change notifier, if you will not call this method, the change state would not be reflected in the UI. So this method change notifier tells the Flutter to rebuild the screen which is using the change notifier. Okay, so let's learn more about the change notifier provider. As we have made the eligibility screen provider change notifier against the eligibility screen, now we have to connect this provider with the screen, or we have to use this provider in the eligibility screens. For this we have to change notifier provider a widget that provide the instance for the change notifier. Let's do it practically, and then we will understand what is going to happen. So I'll do one thing. Provider is imported, so providers, okay, states on the, okay, so change notifier provider eligible screen provider. So yeah, I'll do one thing. For this, the thing which we have created here, I'll just put that thing in the next screen, or which you can say the class. I'll create a class call, let's say eligibility screen provider, eligibility screen, eligibility screen, let's say screen dot it have import package data material dot, and it will have a class eligibility screen provider. Okay. It extends, it will change notifier. Okay, change notifier is the notify listener. Now we can easily access those things. So I'll do one thing, I'll just string that eligibility message still this thing, and let's cut it and let's paste it here. Yep. Okay, so I think that notify listeners is, okay, this copy I yep. So age is greater than 0, so I have to, let's see, let's say age is 0. Okay, so and age okay, wait a second, age is equal to, let's say 0. So yeah, so in the screen part we have created a class, and then we are going to extend those things. So in the eligibility screen, or what you can say the voting screen, it extends context, and it will return the change notifier provider. Okay, so what is going to happen is I it will return a scaffold also, but before that it will return a change notifier. So I'll do one thing, it will till the scaffold, let's do one thing, it will return change notifier provider. Okay, and the change notifier provider, we will create an eligibility screen provider, so that whenever the state changes it should reflect it also. Okay, so at the create I'll have a context, and the context will be eligibility screen provider, and I think this is okay. And it need, I think it need a builder also. Okay, it need a child. Wait a second, I think this, okay, I think it need a child will be builder, and the builder, I need a builder dot context means this screen, and this, it will return something. I think so this is it. It is completely null, but we have to return something, so it will, at the here it will return our scaffold. Yep. And the code which we have written in this container body thing, which will copy here. So I'll do one thing, I'll just all those things, body scaffold, and copy all of this, control X and control Y, and let's see if there are any errors. Expected this time, don't expect anything right now. Okay, so let's edit our what you can say, that data. So decoration at the circle. Okay, box shape dot circle we have already created. So if color, okay, so I have to change that color. Okay, so I'll do one thing so that we can easily intend those things. Gray and yeah. So the color part, what we're going to do is we're going to check provider vid, yeah, provider dot is eligible. mm, okay, at the builder I also need something like the context builder. I need, wait a second, at the child is a consumer is also there, form. Okay, at the scaffold okay, and the scaffold, yeah, in the scaffold I need a consumer and the form. The consumer is good and the form is good, and the column I need a, okay, at the form I think there is something which I have to change so that I can easily access those changes which is going to set. So I'll do one thing, I'll have a form. In the form, wait a second, I'll do one thing, containers is good, form child, and here I need consumer, and the consumer it will be uh, eligibility, eligible scheme provider, and at there I need this builder. It will have a context, comma provider, comma child, and it will return us the column. It will return the column. Yep, I think that is it. Okay, so the column, I'll just do one thing, I'll just copy paste all of these things. Okay, this too many pages document, just don't worry, I'll just, all we have to do is I'll just copy paste all of these things and control X, control Y, and the column it will be deleted. Yep, yeah, sure. So here I do one thing, I'll have a provider now, provider, yep, provider dot is eligible, then do nothing, like null. Then if it is expected and identifier, I know I expect and identify. So color dot orange accent, let's see, colors dot, if it is null or we have not put it anything, so I'll just say colors dot gray. Okay, else provider dot is eligible, then do one thing, color dot green, or else if it is not eligible any, then colors dot red. I think that is it. Control C and control V, and I think it is not cons, yes, cannot be null, so we'll say that is it, I think so. So what I'm going to do is I'll just at each file I have to put that provider thing so that you can easily change those things. Okay, so I'll do one thing at the check part, check if you can vote, and the on pressed I'll have an integer value, the final int age, where int dot parse simply means I'm going to get the age from that source. So I'll have age controller, I think so. We have a controller. What was the voting age controller? Voting age controller dot text dot trim. So that yeah, trim is good. And provider dot check eligibility. Provider dot check eligibility. Yep. And here we will pass the age. I'll say wait a second. Check eligibility, and here it will get the age and age, and I think this is the, yep, it will get the age. Okay, at the age we will check the eligibility, and at the here cons I'll have provider dot eligibility message, and where it counts, and yep, we are good to go now. So what I'm to do is Flutter run -c chrome. Let's see what we will get. Dart.html is not required. Till then I'll just remove all those comments, like it is not needed, and this thing. And before running, so is a quick go to this course and just check that it is available to each and every platform, and let's see that if so till now that it is not eligible, so it is red. Let's say I put it 12 and check you are not eligible for voting. Let's say 20, and I hope that color is yep. So see, if I put it null, it is doing nothing. Okay. It's a 0. Yep, not eligible. So this is your eligible for voting. So that is it. Let me just go through it real quick, and I'll show you what happened. So we have only created a single screen. This is a single screen. So at the eligibility, we are just checking whenever we are pressing any button. So we are going to check that if the text which we have created is uh, above 18 or something like eligibility criteria, then it will notify all the changes. Okay, so let's go through the UI part and see what we have did till now. So this is simply a change notifier provider, so it will notify us when there is any changes in the UI or not. Okay, uh, ignore unnecessary quick fix, and I think okay, I just want to can't be so, yeah, so that is just the video. At the class we are simply change the notifier, and the notify lesson simply do that it will create the is eligible to true and is eligible to false if you are eligible for voting or not. So it will notify the listener, which means when it is triggered it will change the element in the UI. So yeah, that is it for the video. Hope you like it. Please if you like it, please do like, share, subscribe, and we will meet in the next video. In the next video we are going to learn more about, I think, video 35, river pod, yep, for this advanced state management and state management using block pattern, Flutter, Redux, and many more. And after that we will use that API using do package. It is very good thing, and Firebase integration is also very good thing. How can do it, like testing, debugging, performance. It is like yeah, it is pretty much. So from now I think that here's an important message that from now on, every 1 day gap the video will come, and the video of the app right is the update. It is almost done. It is on the editing part, so I have to edit at the cut like some of the sections. So yeah, that is it for this Sorry for the fumbling. That is it for the video. Hope you like it. And if you have any query related to this video or any other videos, you can comment it down. So we will meet in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep productive. Bye bye.